On today's episode, one of NASCAR's brightest young stars joins the show. How's it going, you guys? My name is Eric, and welcome to Out of the Groove. And I'll just cut right to the chase. Yesterday, I had the great pleasure of getting to speak with Harrison Burton, a driver for Kyle Busch in the Truck Series, one of NASCAR's youngest stars, and of course, he is the son of former NASCAR great Jeff Burton. But yeah, one thing I hear a lot from people who watch the show, they say, Eric, you should devote more time to Truck Series coverage, or Xfinity Series coverage, or ARCA coverage, rather than just the Cup Series. And I always think, yeah, I'd love to do more of that, but sometimes I just don't have the time, don't have the energy. I'm really just one guy over here filming these videos, editing these videos, interacting on social media, so it's a lot for one person to keep track of, but I do try to chime in when there's big Xfinity, big Truck Series news. But yeah, I've always wanted to get more into that because I think a lot of these young drivers coming up through the lower ranks in NASCAR really have pretty interesting stories, and these are the guys we're going to be talking about for decades to come. So I think it's interesting to talk about them when they're young and get to know them very early on. And so that's what we're going to do in today's episode. Today's very special Truck Series coverage, as a matter of fact, is brought to you by Lear. Lear makes super awesome truck accessories, truck covers, and all sorts of great stuff, so go check them out. And actually, we're doing a very special YouTube giveaway thanks to Lear. Comment down below your favorite Truck Series driver. Hopefully Harrison Burton wins you over a little bit with this interview I'm about to show you guys. But comment below your favorite Truck Series driver and use hashtag GroovyLear just down in the YouTube comments right here. And in a few days, we'll be picking a random winner who wins one of these awesome die casts courtesy of Lear truck covers. So big thank you to Lear for allowing me to cover the Truck Series in more depth. And without further ado, I won't waste your time any longer. I go now to my recent interview with driver Harrison Burton. Enjoy, y'all. Welcome everyone to Out of the Groove. Always love when we can have drivers and people in the industry come on the show. I'm joined today, I'm very fortunate to be joined by driver Harrison Burton. He drives number 18 in the NASCAR Truck Series for Kyle Busch. He's a K&N East Series champion in 2017. You won the ARCA Daytona race this year. I'm sure those accolades are just going to continue to grow as your career goes on. But thanks, man, for coming on. How you doing today?
Yeah, for sure, man. Thank you for having me on. It's always fun to come do things like this, especially on people like you. I watch your stuff, and it's cool to be a part of it. So yeah, I'm doing good, and I'm excited to be on.
I appreciate it. So tell me a little bit about this season. I know you're in the middle of it. You're sitting pretty good in the points, ninth, I believe. What can you tell me about this season so far? How's it been?
It's been fun. It's been up and down for sure. We've had chances to win at places like Daytona, Vegas, and Dover. We've had bad races like Texas and Martinsville and Kansas. So up and down season, and I think that we haven't quite reached our potential yet. So hopefully we'll build on that stuff that we've been working on and get some better finishes and hopefully some wins. I just graduated high school, so I can go full-time race car driver mode and focus on that, which will help me, I think, and help the whole team as I can spend more time in the shop and in the simulator and preparing and things like that instead of doing my calculus homework.
Yeah, I was going to ask. I know I saw last week you graduated last week, right?
Yeah, last week.
Yeah. So what has that challenge been like the last however many years, kind of balancing school and driving?
It's been tough. I've been running all over the place and traveling on the weekends and back in school on Monday. And every time I come back, I got a stack of makeup work this tall and trying to get that done and then try to prepare for the next race as well. Has been a challenge, but it's been a good challenge, and I think I've learned a lot about myself throughout it. Learned, how much that you can take on and how to balance things in your personal life and your racing life and things that you can kind of separate. So it's been a definite challenge, and it's been stressing me out for a long time, but glad to be done with it and glad I did it.
Speaking of like your personal life a little bit, like obviously a lot of people watching know your dad was a great NASCAR racer. I'm curious, how involved is he with your day-to-day like racing career? Is he kind of hands-on, or is he more hands-off, let you figure it out for yourself kind of thing? How does he fit into the whole picture?
So in the beginning, when I was first just racing, late models and getting into trying to be a professional race car driver, he was very hands-on, and he came to every race, and he was helping me. Every time I went to the shop, he was at the shop and teaching me things, and I was learning from him about race cars and how to prepare as a race car driver, what it takes to be a race car driver, and then I kind of got the foundation, and now he's kind of stepped back a little bit. He still helps me out a lot. It's a great resource for me. I have a past Cup winner that lives in the same house as me that I can go and talk to about racing and get any pointers that he might have, so that definitely helps. And it's cool for me to be able to pull that advice from him at any time and It's also cool because he's just my dad, and we can hang out and play basketball or whatever it may be, and relax. And then also when it's time to go to business and go to work, he helps me out a ton, and it's a big asset.
Is he at the track most weeks? I know obviously he works for NBC, so that half the year I'm sure he's around pretty often. But is he at the track really often, or is he? Where is he? How's he watch a lot of the races?
Yeah, he's normally at the racetrack a lot, which is really cool. It didn't used to be that way when I was really young and I first started traveling. It was me and my mom in a motorhome, and we were going racing. So that was kind of crazy when I was a little kid racing quarter midgets and stuff. I was always all around just me and my mom, and traveling the country doing that. So it's been kind of nice once he kind of stepped out of the seat and retired from racing. He's had, at least a half a year of time to relax a little bit, even though he's still on podcasts and TV shows all the time. He keeps himself busy. He's normally at the racetrack with me, helping me out, which is very nice and a good change for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. So this is your first full-time year in the trucks. What's it like driving for Kyle Busch? Like, we all know about his personality kind of as a driver on off the track, but what's he like as a team owner?
He's a lot of fun. It's tough because he holds you to such a high standard, and if you do something wrong, he's going to let you know about it. But if it wasn't that way, then I don't think I would be as good as I am now, and all of his other drivers he's had wouldn't be as good as they are now. There's a certain level once you get to the top 3 series in NASCAR that you have to hold yourself to, and you have to hold yourself accountable. There's no sugarcoating things with him, which is good, and I enjoy that. I enjoy that relationship that we have where after a race, if I run third at Dover, for example, he said, good job, good day, good finish, but you could have won, and he'll tell me how I could have won. So that's good, and I learn a lot from him in that way. A lot of times there's people that are good coaches and good drivers, and sometimes they're not the same because sometimes the people that are so talented, they never had to work to learn some of these things. It just came natural. So it's hard for them to teach people something that comes natural. For him, he's kind of found a way to be a happy medium. He's an amazing race car driver, obviously, and wins regularly on the top level. And a lot of people don't like that. I'm sure he likes that. But it's interesting because he's found a way to kind of come back and coach well as well, and teach young guys like me and Todd Gilliland to race at this level.
Yeah, I've just always been really interested about that. So future for you also seems to be looking pretty good. Joe Gibbs Racing, I know, tapped you for 8 Xfinity races this year. I know you already made your debut, top 10 at Bristol. That was awesome. Of all of your remaining races, I know there's kind of a wide variety of tracks in there. Which one or ones are you probably most looking forward to, you think?
Oh, that's tough. I'm ready for Iowa. I got my first Truck Series pole there. That's the next one I go to, which is nice. Do a double header there with the truck race and the Xfinity race. So I'll be busy that weekend. I'm really excited for that. And believe it or not, I'm excited for the Roval. I watched that last year, and the Cup race was absolutely crazy, and it looked like a lot of fun. Looks like a fun racetrack to drive. And as soon as I knew that I was going to run at that racetrack, I've been almost every other day at least on iRacing trying to get myself dialed in for that place and trying to learn that racetrack. It's such a crazy racetrack, and so many different areas. You go through a really high speed section with the chicane in the backstretch, and then you go through the really slow section where if you overslip your tires, you're just gonna almost kill your lap time. So it's almost you go slow to go fast kind of thing through there, and there's other areas where it's just full attack. So it's really fun to prepare for places like that are different. So right now I got my eyes set on Iowa. A good track for me in the past, and the Roval for sure will be crazy.
Yeah, the Roval, I know. Xfinity Cup, it was all fun to watch last year. Are you a road course kind of guy? Do you like road courses, or are those the ones you feel like you got to focus on more? Because I know some drivers are varied.
Yeah, I like the road courses. They're fun. I didn't have a great finish at Canada. I was fast in practice, and then I put my truck nose deep in the barriers trying to put a lap down. So, I like the road course mentality of a full attack on corner entry and try and get back to the throttle as soon as you can. Whereas on oval stuff, normally you give up a little bit on entry to get more on throttle time sooner. So at road course, it just seems like you just drive so hard and so aggressively, and it's a lot of fun. I'm not necessarily, or I haven't been the best at it. I've had a couple good runs and third place finishes and stuff like that in K&N, but I've never won on a road course. So Definitely going to change that hopefully this year and go to Canada at least or the Roval and hopefully come out with a win. But we'll see. Got a lot of work to do yet. I think that it's an art that you have to learn, but I have the foundation to learn it. So hopefully we can go out and get good finishes and maybe a win.
Yeah, definitely. I know we still have a couple weeks to go until trucks are back at Texas, but you're racing ARCA this weekend at Pocono, right?
Yep, I leave in 2 hours.
Yeah, well, awesome. Yeah, awesome. So what's that been like? What are you looking forward to this weekend? I know you've run a few ARCA races this year. Obviously, won at Daytona. How important is that kind of still racing ARCA, just learning as much as you can? Like, what's that been like?
It's been a lot of fun. The truck schedule is kind of sporadic at times. You have moments where you're off and some drivers relax and the more experienced drivers especially just relax and don't run any races and kind of have some personal time. But the younger guys like me, we always seem to find more races to get in and more race cars to drive and get as much experience as we can. I have had a lot of fun running the ARCA series. Winning Daytona was amazing. It was my first time I ever ran at Daytona, and then I tried to repeat, and me and my teammate wrecked, so that wasn't good. And then we ran Charlotte and ran fourth, which wasn't terrible. So it's been pretty fun in the ARCA series so far. It's cool to go back and race there. It's really competitive series, and Pocono should be a lot of fun, hopefully.
Yeah, as far as you, future plans, I know that people hate asking future plans, but I got to ask about it. Like, you run some Xfinity races this year. I know you got Dex Imaging. Is they're a big sponsor of yours? What can we think about maybe next year, some more Xfinity? What are the future plans for you?
I wish I could tell you, honestly. Yeah. I don't know, which is kind of the driver's lifestyle in a way. You have to focus so hard year to year, try to prove yourself every single year, or else you lose your ride. I know that there's some guys that prove themselves and still lose their ride. So it's crazy. It's a crazy landscape and not a very secure job to have. But it's a lot of fun. So I know Dex has been a great partner of mine. I've been sponsored by them since I was 13 years old and started in a late model and then moved up with them all the way up to my first truck start and with Dex Imaging. And then now you see them on Ryan Blaney's car and moving up through the series and the sport, which is amazing. Kind of cool to see the sponsor that started with me on my late model team moving to Cup and with me in Xfinity and trucks and everything. So that's awesome and a lot of fun for me to have Dex along board. So they've been a great partner with mine. I don't expect that to change. I expect to have a red and white and black car hopefully next year as well, or truck. Not sure what the future may hold, but who knows? It could be really anything. And there's a lot of opportunities for movement in the sport. You see Christopher Bell winning a lot of races and proving that he's ready to win at the Cup level, and hopefully that can have a seat for me, and maybe not. I don't know. I have no inside information. I'm probably the last guy that they're going to tell because I'll get on the show and tell the rest of the world. So not sure yet, but that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. Well, best of luck to you. Thank you so much, Harrison Burton, for coming on Out of the Groove. Really appreciate it, man. Good luck this weekend. Good luck with the rest of your season.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for having me on.
So there you have it. Yes, I hope you enjoyed. Again, a big thank you to Harrison Burton for coming on the show. I really hope you guys enjoyed that because it was a lot of fun for me personally to get to talk to him about his career and his life around NASCAR. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I have a couple other very exciting episodes planned later this week. We might have another guest on as soon as tomorrow, perhaps, that I think you guys will be excited about. The hits just keep on coming. The show would be nothing without the support I get from all of you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Those links are down in the description. You can get yourself your own personal Out of the Groove t-shirt. If you want to support me, support the show, represent the show, you can check that out down by the description. And then, of course, a big thank you, as always, to my Patreon supporters. Michael Harrison, at Givas of the Stars, SelfishGifts.com, Mentally Defective, Cameron James, John Koblenz, Jason R. Long, Wesley Donaldson, Isaac Dennison, Mika Suzuki, iFantasyRace.com, TheRacingInsiders.com, Matthew Koulopoulos, and the rest of these amazing Patreon supporters. Thank you guys for continuing to support me in my dream and help this show continue to grow and get bigger and better. Couldn't do this without you guys, so thank you so much for the support. Like I said, I'll be back later this week, perhaps with another pretty high-profile guest you guys might have heard of, so I'm excited for that one. Big thanks again to Harrison Burton for coming on. Give him a follow over on Twitter, at HBurtonRacing. Yeah, go give him a follow. Go let him know how much you enjoyed him being on the show today. But yeah, with that being said, hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.